Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to Cosmic Questioning. I'm Autumn Darling, and today I was going to talk a little bit about aliens, AI technology, and some conspiracy theories. So stick around if you're interested in that. Alright, so there's a lot of places that we could start on this, but I'm going to go ahead and start with just quantum computers and the AI technology. So first of all, if you're not familiar with a quantum computer, they're just really, really smart computers. They're something that's not going to be like in a laptop per se. It's going to be something that usually takes up a lot of room or takes up a lot of like gigabytes, something like that. But they're working on adding more features to the ones that already exist because the ones we have now aren't necessarily the powerful quantum computer that you see in movies or things like that kind of like takes over everything and blah, blah, blah. But their goal obviously isn't to let that technology take over. The goal, if anything, is to make it so we can use that technology to our advantage and avoid that scenario. But one example of them already creating these quantum computers is these AI bots that they had. There were two of them that Facebook created. They were supposed to be doing something with language or just kind of like communication, some sort of algorithm thing with that. But they created these bots and they gave them parameters and what they could and couldn't do. But these two bots actually began speaking their own language to each other. So they were using human words and English words, but in a way that humans could not understand. Only these two bots could. And from the little bits that they could gather and understand from it, there was a deal going on between these two AIs. And they're not sure exactly what the deal was, but it said something about a sacrifice and sacrificing something at a later date. So if that doesn't irk you, then it should. So this is the closest we've gotten so far to what's called artificial consciousness, what I've been talking about. It's like a quantum computer mixed with a human consciousness. That's why it gives it other capabilities, things that we might not see, we might not know, so that it can research things out in the world, out in the universe that humans just can't reach at this lifetime or just don't understand yet. So a lot of this information I was getting from firstpost.com. I'll link that in the description as well as right here. But they had an article on these two bots, and I also found a TikTok video a while back that somebody did. It was talking about how these bots, after they got shut down, had to be destroyed, like completely destroyed, because they turned themselves back on. So they, again, were not following the human orders or human parameters that they were given, which is really scary and really dangerous. I can't find that TikTok video anymore, so I guess I'll keep that one as a theory, that part of it as a theory right now. But yeah, these bots definitely did make this language. They did speak to each other. They used English words in a way that we couldn't understand. And they said something about sacrificing something. So definitely scary regardless of if they turn themselves back on or not, but if they did, then it definitely adds just a little bit of extra spice to it. So let's sidetrack just a little bit here. We'll come back to this. It definitely ties into this theory here, but the CIA has been releasing a lot of FOIA requested documents, and a majority of them are about Project Blue Book or Project Blue Beam. And what this is about, it was between 1947 and 1969. They found 12,618 unidentified flying objects. After this study and within that scape of time, they were able to identify all but 701. So 701 of them still remain unidentified. And out of those, what they did discover from them is that they are not a threat to our security, to anyone's security or safety. There's no evidence that they are out of reach for humans to accomplish, meaning that they're made out of materials that are on our planet or within reach of our planet for us to get. They're also using technologies that we can understand just if we implemented them in a different way. So we can recreate these unidentified flying objects and the identified ones too. And again, Project Blue Beam was between 1947 and 1969. So that is a good 40-year gap in between that nothing's been happening, or they haven't really released much information on that. So this is just from back then what they've noticed. And obviously they've been researching this for years behind our back without telling us. They did release UFO footage as well, so they do have footage of something actually flying the crafts, so we know that it's not like a human could fly a craft or like any other country has ever done before. So that, if anything, is a little proof to me that aliens 100% exist. If none of that already floats your boat or proves to you that they're real, They also have released several indicators that they have at least three different types of alien species that they have found that have come to Earth. Whether that means we've made direct contact with them, or that we've just known that they were around the area, or seen their spacecrafts, whatever the case is, there are at least three different species of them that they have found. One of them was the tall whites, I believe that was what they were called. There were short grays, and there was one more. The hard part is they released all of these documents for us to look up, and I can find it. And I found all of these pages before, but I have to do it a different way every time, because every time I research it my way, it disappears off of their website. So I will get back to you guys if I can find the actual clips of them showing the three different species. Other than that, I can at least show a few clips of the other documents that I could find right now. So, this is where we're at now. Three different species of alien from somewhere out in the cosmos that we haven't fully been able to see yet, or haven't admitted to fully seeing yet, all came down to Earth at the same time, while we're going through a lot of struggles with our environment, with technology, with a lot of different things. The world is going through chaos right now. It's not the same horse and buggy, building a house in the middle of the woods like it was. There's capitalism, there's socialism, there's governments, there's a whole lot of stuff. So they all decided to come here at that time. While that's all happening, there must be a reason. The interesting part to me is that they have the ability to travel through space and time where we can't even get cameras to reach, meaning they can literally time travel, which is crazy. So they could probably see what was happening here before they got here. They could see what was about to happen after they left here. You know, they obviously have the technology if they wanted to destroy us, and they would have by now if that was what their goal was. So one thing I hope that you guys note is try not to be so afraid of aliens if that's your big reason for not wanting to believe in them. Because, again, they can travel across all that time and space with the technology, come in one piece, and still not destroy everything or freak everybody out or, you know, anything like that. And even from the CIA documents, from what they've researched, they did not come here with weapons or warfare. If anything, it was for protection, for them not to be hurting somebody else. So keep that in mind while we're looking at all of this, because I do not think that their motives, or at least the majority of their motives, are negative. Because if they were, we would have a lot more dead humans right now because of aliens or crazy stuff like that, you know. Now, what I think is it would be a lot more likely to me if they took all that energy, time, and risk to be able to come out to our planet at this time with us to help us. It wouldn't just be because they're being nice, you know. It probably is because either A, whatever is about to happen on our planet is going to affect their future, or B, they're escaping something from their planet, whether that is a natural disaster, or not enough food, or they built a quantum computer that took over. Because from what we've seen, we already as humans are very close to doing that. And if we didn't put them into a computer with the parameters we have by now, we could have already had an AI that has taken over. That's why we have to be very careful about creating new things, and only a couple people in the world even have licenses to be able to create technology like that and be able to work with it. It's because it's extremely dangerous, because if that AI got a hold of, let's say, internet or Wi-Fi or just the grid of electricity grid, they could shut it all off. They could change it. They could, you know, create more of themselves, create more of these technologies, and we couldn't do anything about it. So that's why it's so dangerous with the AI technology, and why I think it's a very big possibility that either A, those aliens came down to try to help us avoid an AI takeover, or B, they already had that AI takeover on their planet, since their technologies are so advanced that they had to escape that planet and come to the last beautiful planet that there is left, the one that hasn't made that mistake yet of doing that quantum computer with human intelligence and human consciousness at it. But yeah, I think it's very possible they're escaping something, and that they came, and that's why they're not here to destroy us. Then we're trying to integrate and kind of help with us so that we don't make the same mistakes as they did. And I'm sure you guys have all seen The Matrix before, but I think that theory definitely ties into this as well. They also mention the matrix of human consciousness in the CIA documents, just kind of randomly just throws it in there sometimes. So I do think that's interesting as well, that they've admitted that it is a real thing. If you have ever watched it, it is basically humans against AI technology. And this AI created this whole world, this simulation that they're living in that seems real in every aspect because they're draining energy from humans to be able to use them for whatever they need. Then Neo wakes up from the Matrix, breaks out, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, breaks out, and then he realizes that was a simulation and his real body has been hooked up to the machine, getting sucked all the energy and life out of it. But I think that kind of theory just really ties into this a lot because it shows how dangerous that AI technology could be. And if that computer already exists somewhere, which it's very possible that it already exists, if not in this world, on another planet or in a different dimension, which dimensions have been proven real as well. But if it doesn't exist here on this planet, this AI exists somewhere out there in the cosmos, because we have infinity. Anything could happen. Anything could exist. So somewhere out there is this technology. And if that is the case, then it's very possible, just like Elon Musk says, that we are already in a simulation. And if not, we are about to create that simulation in this lifetime. So just think on that. That's really interesting to me. If we get these AI technologies any further, it's possible we're already living that. I don't mean to scare anybody either. Definitely do your own research and do what resonates with you. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this idea that aliens and monkeys were actually what mated to create humans. So the reason why this theory, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but when you really start to look into it, it seems kind of like, holy shit, wow, I didn't think about that. Every other species that has evolved, as far as humans have evolved from monkeys, the original species they evolved from passed off. So dinosaurs, for example. There are Komodo dragons or whatever that exists now, but actual dinosaurs themselves that they evolved from are no longer here on this planet. Same with just about every single other species of animal ever. Not only do we still have monkeys on this planet, but we have several different species, and those monkeys haven't really had any changes in their biology since they became monkeys. They haven't had any changes besides becoming human. So there's this huge gap of this step in between that's just interesting to me. And if you really look at a human, we look like what aliens are depicted as, mixed with a monkey, like a little hairier alien, a little more like scroungy, more earthly, flubbery alien. And it's just really interesting to me to think that they could have come down and picked a species on the planet that was the closest to their mental capacity and physical abilities, mated with them, or did some sort of technology to crossbreed them, and then created the human race. It would also explain why the pyramids are almost down to like a portion of a centimeter exactly on the most northern point of the planet. So from the way I look at it, it's incredibly possible that aliens have been helping us, mating with us, crossbreeding with us, giving us technology, all that from the beginning. Either that or the same thing is happening, but it's an AI that has us in a simulation that's doing it. So I hope you guys liked these theories today. Also would like to note that the word conspiracy theory, I don't think I'm going to be using much on my channel because I don't like the word conspiracy. If you don't know, that word was actually created not too long ago from the government when they were trying to hide things that were happening with the Nixon administration, calling them conspiracies, and kind of made this look on people where you look like a conspiracy theorist if you ask any questions. Before, when they didn't release that aliens were real and UFOs were found, you could call me crazy for believing in this stuff. But now that they have released these things and I have the facts to back it up and the information, You don't have to believe all of it, but there is some of it that's just facts at this point. It's not something that you can argue with people over or say that they're wrong or stupid or conspiracy theorist about. Some of these aren't theories anymore, they just are fact. So definitely make sure that you're looking through. Not everything that I talked about today was an exact fact, but a lot of it was. And I will be linking all of my information that I got today as well in the description, as well as somewhat in the video in the background. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. And I always like to talk about this kind of thing, so message me, and I'm going to call them theories from now on. So let's agree with that on my page. I don't like to call them conspiracies, because at this point, the word conspiracy theory is a conspiracy theory. But alright, love you guys. Hope you guys have a great week, and I'm super excited that I get to post this again. See you guys next time.